Salve, Regina, Mater misericordiae.
Today we celebrate the feast of Our Lady, Queen of the Seraphic Order, a really appropriate feast to renew one's vows, one's consecration to our Queen. In the writings of Thomas of Celano, when he speaks about St. Francis and how he entrusted the entire order to Our Lady, made her our advocate and our Queen, he says this: "But what delights us most, he made her the advocate of the order, and placed under her wings the sons he was about to leave, that they might find in her motherly affection and protection to the end." In fact, these words explain beautifully the celebration that takes place today. The fact that St. Francis elects Our Lady as Queen of the Order and places all of his sons and daughters under the protection of her wings. And by doing this, St. Francis does nothing other than recognize the proper role of Our Lady, who is Queen of heaven and earth. And Our Lady is Queen of heaven and earth for two reasons. She is Queen of heaven and earth by nature and also by conquest. Just as our Lord is King by nature and by conquest, so is Our Lady. She's Queen of heaven and earth by nature, that is, who she is. She is the Immaculate Mother of God. She is immaculate, conceived full of grace, as the Archangel Gabriel greets her in the Gospel we just read. Hail, full of grace. That means that she is exalted far above all of the angels and all of the saints. And thus, she is Queen because she is immaculate, full of grace. But also because she is the Mother of God. And who is the God that she is Mother of? Christ the King. And so she is the Queen Mother. And so she reigns and participates in his dominion and rule over all things. But she's also Queen by conquest. That is, she conquered with her Son Satan, sin, and death in this world. She is the co-redemptrix. She crushes the serpent's head with her immaculate foot. And so St. Francis, in making her Queen of the Seraphic Order, again, does nothing other than recognize the proper role of Our Lady. And so, as Thomas of Celano says, this is what delights us most. For every Franciscan out there, this is what brings most joy to his heart. The fact that Our Lady is Queen of the Order. And why do we derive so much joy from this? Because again, Thomas of Celano says, of her motherly affection and protection. We can always have recourse to Our Lady in our times of darkness and difficulties and obtain consolation from her motherly affection. We can always have recourse to Our Lady in dangerous times, in times of temptation, and trust in her protection as our Queen. And so tonight, we have the renewal of vows of our two tertiary sisters, two tertiary handmaids of the Immaculate. When you once again consecrate yourselves entirely to Our Lady and put yourselves under her protection, entrusting yourselves to her motherly affection, and dedicating yourselves to her service. And so we conclude with some other words of Thomas of Celano. Hail, advocate of the poor, fulfill toward us your office of protectress until the time set by the Father.
Fructum ventris tuum,